So I will say this, not all functions have inverses. If a function does have an inverse, then the function must be one-to-one. If a function does have an inverse, then the function must be 1-to-1, which means that the y values cannot repeat. For it to be a function, the x values cannot repeat. But for it to be 1-to-1, the y values cannot repeat. Let me underline 1-to-1 and put this. 1-to-1 means that the y values, once they're used, that's it. The y values cannot repeat. That means if a function is going to have an inverse, both x and y cannot repeat, because x can't repeat according to the definition of a function. I'll write that for you. You might or might not want to write that in your notes, but I'll write it. So if a function has an inverse, both the inputs and the outputs cannot repeat. I'm going to give a little example of something that has an inverse. Oh, I shouldn't have told you it has an inverse. I should have asked you that question. Too late. So here's my example. Consider y equals 5x minus 7. What's that graph look like? Do you remember? That's a 1021 question. That graph is going to be a straight line. It's not horizontal, but it is a straight line. What's the y-intercept? -7. And the slope is 5. Okay, I'm going to graph this and maybe do a table. See, I'll go down 7. There's -7. And the slope is 5, so that's rise over run. That's up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. Here's this graph. How can I tell the y values do not repeat? Because I got the slope, and that could be part of it. In fact, with the slope being 5, I go up and over, up 5 over 1. Will I ever come back around and use the same y value twice? No. Like this graph is doing this sort. In fact, what kind of lines can I draw? See, vertical is for function. Those are for the x values.
Horizontal.
Horizontal would be for the y value. So if I draw horizontal lines and they intersect my graph only one time, now it's true vertical lines would intersect it only once as well. But that means it's a function. If the horizontal lines intersect the graph only one time, that means it is one-to-one. The y values are not repeating.